Good afternoon friends. If you are a multi-state registered GST taxpayer and you have an HO, then it is mandatory for you to take Input Service Distributor registration from 1st of April 2025 for distributing third-party input tax credit invoices to all the branches who receive certain services. However, if you have internally generated services, then as per Circular 199 of 2023, you may or may not cross-charge such value of services to branches. ISD, while is mandatory, the dispute between ISD and cross-charging under GST continues even after ISD mandate from 1st of April 2025. Many questions are pouring in and we will discuss them 10 such critical issues in this video. The most important question which taxpayers are asking is it mandatory to take Input Service Distributor registration even if for theory's sakes we do not take the common input tax credit at all. For theory's sakes, even if we do not take the credit of rent of HO office, housekeeping services and other services at HO which are common in nature and which are used for all the branches. In our view, as per section 20 subsection 1 of CGST Act, it is mandatory to take ISD registration wherever you are even availing the services. Whether or not you are availing the input tax credit or not, that is not important. In case you are availing the services at the HO which are common in nature, then it is mandatory to take the Input Service Distributor registration from 1st of April 2025. Another important thing to understand is as per Rule 39 Sub-Rule 1 Clause A of CGST rules, it is important that ISD credit of 1 month is distributed in the same month. There should not be a delay in distributing the available ISD credit of common input tax credit. In such case, Rule 39 1A would be important to note. In case from the HO, you are paying reverse charge GST on certain services. Say for example, you are an MNC company and you are paying reverse charge on import of common credit, for example royalty, which is useful for all the branches and all the states where you are registered in. In such case, you have to pay the RCM from the normal GST-IN of the HO state, then cross-charge from the normal GST-IN to the ISD registration of the HO state only. And thereafter from the ISD, you can distribute the input tax credit of this RCM which is paid. This procedure is specified in Rule 39 Sub-Rule 1 capital A of the CGST rules. But please note, it is very important to understand it is only a mechanism of distributing ISD credit, because the ISD registration is not eligible to pay any GST. Therefore, for RCM credit, this procedure has been envisaged. Certain taxpayers ask that, say for example, a forward charge invoice is received by any supplier in the normal GST-IN of the HO state, then whether the same procedure can be applied and whether from the normal GST-IN to the ISD GST-IN of the state, it can be transferred and the credit be distributed. The answer is that it would lead to a procedural lapse which may be questioned and may be contested But question, of course, can be raised by the revenue authorities on the procedural lapse. Another question which comes, in fact it has come over the last 1.5 months, is whether the same procedure can be applied interstate. For example, you pay RCM through the normal GST-IN of one state, and from the normal GST-IN of one state, you transfer the credit to ISD in another state. Is it possible to do? Well, the Honorable Odisha High Court in the case of JSW Steel long time back has held that such a procedure is not possible. In such case, the taxpayer had paid certain RCM on government services in the state of Odisha, then transferred it as facilitation charges to the state of Maharashtra where ISD registration was there, and thereafter distributed it through ISD. The Honorable Odisha High Court said that no such facilitation was done and such procedure was also incorrect, and the writ petition was dismissed at that point of time, what we understand from the case law which was reported. Therefore, procedurally also, and as per Rule 39(1)(a) also, this would not be the right procedure. If a RCM has to be routed through ISD registration, then it has to be done for the same state ISD as per Rule 39 sub Rule 1 capital A. Which brings us to the next question, whether a ITC from an invoice of a third party, say JSW Steel case only for example, can RCM in this case be paid in Odisha, and can it be treated as a facilitation charges and be distributed accordingly or cross-charged accordingly, bypassing the ISD procedure which is envisaged in section 20? Well, in our legal submission, again this may be questioned as a procedural lapse, and therefore the mandate of section 20 subsection 1 and 20 section and 2 subsection 61 of the CGST Act is very clear, and if it is read along with Circular 199 also, it makes it further clear that for third party invoices, it is important to distribute the ITC through ISD registration, and for internally generated services like say for example CFO salary and other such internally generated services, not third party invoices, it may be done through cross charge mechanism, and cross charge is not mandatory as per Circular 199. So, it may or may not be done for distribution of the services to other branches in other states. A question is asked, how would the department come to know whether ISD is applicable? Well, we have seen AI being used by the government extensively. It is very simple for those taxpayers who have a single PAN and separate GST-INs. All GST-INs are PAN based. It can always be searched through AI whether such taxpayer has taken ISD or not, and therefore a notice may come out of such an AI generated search. Also, in case you are cross charging for services, can be always searched that whether there is any bill from the same PAN number to the same PAN number, different GST-INs with HSN code 99, which is for services, and therefore it can be tracked that what are your cross charges, whether you have taken ISD or not, and therefore the implementation of this mandate of section 20 for ISD can be easily tracked by the government in our view. Whether or not it will lead to notices, that only time will say. Last is that even ineligible ITC and credit note has to be distributed via ISD mechanism. Not only eligible but even ineligible ITC and the ITC reversal wide credit note, that has to be distributed. Also, for internally generated services, very important to note, Circular 199 has made it very clear, even Rule 39 has made it very clear that a credit can be cross-charged only when the service has been received by the branch. It cannot be that a service has itself not been received by a branch and a credit is cross-charged thus to transfer input tax credit. In case this is done, it may lead to an allegation of an offence under section 122 and 132 of the CGST Act of taking input tax credit without availing the corresponding services. So friends, these are the intricacies of ISD versus cross-charge. On the various questions we have received specifically in the last 2 months in this matter, we hope we have clarified all of this. In case you have further questions, you can always write in the box below. We would reply to that. Thank you very much for watching. Please do like, share and subscribe to this channel. Stay tuned. Thank you very much.